Hello, welcome back to Sniffy Sundew 1's playthrough of Starcraft 2, Heart of the Swarm. The mission is called Rendezvous, and our objective is to destroy the Draken Pulse Cannon.
Kerrigan, before we jumped, Hyperion tracked multiple Dominion signatures headed down to the surface. You're gonna have a surprise party down there.
And let's begin. Also, I haven't done a lot of bios with some of the units, so I'll go over those after the first cutscene. Don't worry, it won't take long.
Scanning. Detecting Dominion forces and a Zerg hive cluster.
Yeah, there must be an old hive here. I'm more worried about the Dominion.
Ground team, this is Fleet. What is your status?
Fleet, our base is set up and the Draken Pulse Cannon is almost online.
Roger that. Eliminate all stragglers as they warp to these coordinates. We'll return for you. Fleet out.
That cannon will take out Jim's ship as soon as he enters orbit. He'll never see it coming. Set course for the Zerg hive cluster. I need an army. I can sense a mind controlling this brood. Who are you?
My queen, I am Nakjul, a brood mother. You created us to extend your control of the swarm. Have you returned to us?
I'm not your queen and I haven't returned. But I need your brood to destroy the Terran cannon right now.
Most of my brood is with me. I can send them to you, but it will take time.
Then send them. When they arrive, we'll tear down that cannon before Jim gets here. Meanwhile, I'm going to prepare this hive for combat. The Dominion would have tracked my ship and they'll be looking for me.
Okay, over there you probably saw a bunch of units. I'm gonna go over them. And hey, we have more drones than we had in the cutscene. Anyway, I'll evolve these first few drones, and I'll talk about units. Okay, first I didn't introduce earlier is the Terran Marine. It's the basic Terran unit, as you probably can tell. It's very cheap, only 50 minerals, the same price as a pair of Zerglings. Its attack, the Gauss Rifle, attacks both ground and air units. Its abilities are the Stim Pack and Combat Shield, which is not seen here. Stim Pack is shared with the Marauder. It takes off some of the Marines' HP, but it boosts their attack and speed temporarily. I'm not sure if it's attack speed or attack. I'm pretty sure it's attack speed. And they're both. Those upgrades are at the Tech Lab. Okay, next is the Marauder. It's got a very high HP and a very strong anti-armor attack. It's 20 versus armor and 10 versus normal. It's essentially the opposite of the Ghost, who is 10 versus normal and 20 versus light. But anyway, they're very expensive, but they're actually rather tanky. They're actually not that expensive. They cost like 50 gas and 100 minerals. They attack only ground units. I'm talking about this. So I already told you about the Stim Pack a little earlier, and it also has concussive shells. When these concussive shells hit the target, they slow the enemy's movement. Next is a Goliath, another unit you will not see in SC2's multiplayer. It has a good anti-ground and anti-air attack. It's one of those classic SC1 units. It's personally one of my favorites. It's quite effective, and in Wings of Liberty, it can be upgraded to shoot both its anti-air cannons and its anti-ground cannons at the same time. Okay, the next is the Siege Tank. Many people will recognize this. It is standard, and it's pretty cool, and it's also quite effective. It's got fairly good armor and a pretty good attack. Its ability is Siege Mode. This is the main reason you would buy the Siege Tank. It turns it into an artillery, which is 12 range, which is the highest range in the game, I believe. I think it's more than the Tempest, I'm not sure. It attacks only ground units in both forms, though. The last is the Thor. This is the strongest unit in the Terran arsenal. It is a very strong attack to one unit only at ground forces, and has a weak air attack, but it does splash damage. Its ability is the 250mm strike cannons. It deploys down, it takes 1 second, and it strikes one target in stunning them. Only Ultralisks and other massive units are immune to it. Now in multiplayer it's been changed to strike one air target with a high damage, and it can move while doing this. So I think that's about all.
Okay. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. The first thing I need is a spawning pool.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have purchased those drones. Anyway. Okay. No, I'm not going to put the file instruction. Put it here now. What about here? Okay, I'm actually gonna turn one of my drones into an extractor so that I can actually start harvesting gas for the first part of the upgrade. Because there are two we'll probably use here: only the melee and the melee attacks, which are Zerglings, and Carpus's, which is armor.
Command, we've found Kerrigan. She's holed up in a Zerg base. We're going in. Send reinforcements.
The Dominion found us. They're going to hit us hard.
They'll hit us slightly, but not that hard anyway. Okay, lots of things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one more thing. Those little things there are broodlings. When Zerg structures get destroyed, with the exception of spine and spore crawlers, broodlings crawl out. They last only a few seconds. They only attack land units. But they're free, and they also spawn from broodlords. Don't rely on them to put up an adequate defense. You'll be disappointed.
Heading out. In my sight.
Oh, you know, that was a bad idea. I better run back. Okay, the spine crawler. It is a Zerg land turret. It's called the Impaler Tentacle. It does more damage versus armor.
I should make Zerglings from the larva at my hatchery.
It only attacks land units. That leads me to the other turret, the Spore Crawler. It attacks only air, but it's a detector.
Spine crawlers. I can mutate them from drones.
Okay, before I was interrupted again there, they're detectors, which means they can detect invisible units like the Banshees and the Wraiths. You also should put them near groups of spine crawlers, or the spine crawlers will probably be run over by lines of Dark Templars. I'll cover those as I get there, and other cloaked units. Also allow roaches to sneak past them.
They drove some of my brood into caves. They will rejoin us if we can kill the Terran soldiers guarding the cave entrances.
Okay, that Billy Bug will cut off for us. Okay, well, crap. Okay, these things are resource packets. There's one for Vespene and one for
This is Kerrigan.
and one for minerals, as you see here. Pick these up, you get
Ready
100
for
free
action?
minerals. Free resources are always nice, so be sure to pick them up. Now, I'm going to start my Carpus upgrade now, so I can get more armor and my Zerglings will last longer. The reason why I'm not building more Spore Crawls like we would do in a multiplayer game is that I don't think there are any cloaked units in this level.
A queen would be very useful for fighting the Terrans. You can birth a queen at the hatchery.
Pushing ahead.
Why are those Zerglings doing that? Okay, that's a bunker. That's a Terran basic defensive structure. It needs infantry in it to attack,
I
though.
gotcha.
But it's a pretty good defensive shell.
Pushing ahead.
Kinetic blast. And at that point we die. Where?
Come out of hiding, Zerglings. Fight for your queen.
Okay, this is the Swarm Queen. It's much different from the queens you get in multiplayer. It's got the abilities Spawn, Creep, Tumor, Rapid Transfusion, and Burrow. Actually, all Zerg units have Burrow. It lets them go into the ground like...
Say again?
Okay, the queen... What? They can burrow like this. They'll be completely invisible to units that aren't detectors, and holy... Oh crap, I think we're under attack.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Okay, it's got talons which attacks land, and it's got an acid spine which attacks air. And now I was saying before, this Swarm Queen is much different from the Queen you get in multiplayer. I was saying talking about transfusions is much slower. It heals a lot more though, and its Spawn Creep Tumor costs more energy instead of an ability instead of just being free. And I think that's about it covering the Queen.
Heading out. Ready
I
for
might have
action.
stumbled a bit on those bios
Work
earlier.
to be done.
Oh well.
Pushing ahead.
Lift off. Oh, I should purchase a second hatch. I probably won't need it, but why not? You know what? We might need a second supply. I think there might be some air units here.
Safety's off.